What's going on? Welcome back to Fanatic Journey. So today I want to talk to you about Lucid. I want to give you an overview of what happened, go over some of the data points and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that said, let's get right to it. So Lucid ended up closing in the red, 4.07%. Had a nice spike first thing to 301. And then as soon as that did happen, it just got hammered throughout the rest of the day. So not necessarily the best. And so I'm going to talk about that in a second. But 20.9 million shares were traded, 32.7 is the average. Today was a very big day for the broader market as a lot of institutions did rebalance their portfolios. When it comes to institutions with Lucid, you didn't really see all that much. You saw some based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price, some after hours kind of buying, but not to the level that I was anticipating. So 1.27 million, 2.18, 5.7 million, all transactions done after hours. But aside from that though, there was only 2 transactions over $100,000 being done during the trading day. So institutions do not care for Lucid one bit. And I find that very unfortunate. And as I've said in the past, like Lucid does need to do something because they're putting out a lot of things, but not of substance. Because even yesterday, and I guess the last 2 days, it had a lot of volatility and more orienting towards the uptrend. But if you think about it, when I did a video, kind of analyst ratings were adjusted. A lot of people seem to be under the impression that this music video was the cause for Lucid to go up. And I really hope that isn't the case, because that does show that Lucid's sentiment is so bad that a 1.5 second clip on a music video can cause it to go up 5%. So in reality, I don't feel that this is the justified reason for it to go up over the last several days. But again, if that is true, then it goes to show that there's something really wrong fundamentally with Lucid. Even when it comes to this. So I did do a video recently saying that Lucid's really, I guess, holding on its expansion. This was posted on Twitter, and it just says that this is where the new Lucid Studios pop-up, location at a auto mall in Saudi Arabia is going to be located, which I think is good. Definitely pop-up studios, cost-wise, is very advantageous. But you need to still do that strategically. So quickly popping over to the good old map right here, just to show you Saudi Arabia, zoom into this place right here. I'm going to butcher it, Jeddah, if I'm saying that right. My apologies if I'm not. But if you think about it, there is already a pop-up studio here. So it's been around since October. So October 22nd to March 31st. And then this one right here, March the 17th to December the 31st. So yes, they're moving it, but based on what I've seen on social media and people that live in the region, this pop-up studio has not been advantageous. It hasn't really drove up demand at all. So yes, kind of doing the same thing and expecting a different result is just stupid marketing. So the fact that they are just trying to move one pop-up studio to another, I think that's a very bad idea. Clearly, Lucid does need to do a big reorganization, and I think it needs to really start with their marketing. So let me know your thoughts on that. So again, like I've said time and time again, I really do believe in Lucid, but there's a lot of things fundamentally wrong with it, and it does stem back down to management. I really like their product. Like everyone, even the biggest bears, the Tesla bulls, and everything else, they can all admit that Lucid has a very sexy vehicle. And no doubtably, this is why they did choose a Lucid for this music video, despite only being around for a second and a half. But still, Lucid's management has really failed to kind of integrate Lucid into the broader world. So that's just my own opinion. So maybe 2024 might be the year that Peter does get canned. I think that would be absolutely epic, because similar to what happened with Boeing's CEO stepped down and the stock went up about 2-3%. And since then, that has recovered the downtrend it was on. I feel like the exact same scenario will happen to Lucid once Peter announces his resignation. And in my opinion, especially with the PIF, or at least an affiliate of the PIF increasing their position, they'll want results. And if they won't get results in 2024, they will look for big changes from the head honcho himself, Peter. So all in all, that's kind of a quick summary of what has happened over the last several days, and ultimately what Lucid does need to do in the foreseeable future to change the true underlying sentiment of the stock. Today, there was no official news, no SEC filings, nothing along those lines. Like, unfortunately, the last news that did come out was associated to that 1 billion affiliate, investment, and then just them cutting prices on that was February the 15th. And shorts are there behind the scenes to take advantage of all of the grayness. So right now, shorts did increase 716,000 shares. 29.92% of the free float is being shorted. That works out to be 263.21 million shares overall are being shorted. And cost of our average is 34.33%. Utilization is at 100%. Interestingly enough, Lucid has, based on the fundamentals, been a squeeze play for a good, probably a month and a half. And a lot of stocks strive for this fundamental basis right now. But unfortunately, Lucid management does not recognize this, that they have an opportunity to get those damn shorts off their back, whether it just be momentarily or not. Just they need to put something out of substance, like some positive stats. And I don't know what they can do at this stage. I think the only big thing would be gravity, or whether it be another partnership full announcement, whether it be with McLaren or someone else. I'm not really sure, but clearly institutions aren't getting in for some reason. And I don't know. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. As far as options stay, $413,000 in calls being purchased, 1.23 million in puts. Sentiment wise, somewhat evenly divided, but 55% of all the options being done today were optimistic and bullish. But then again, some of that could be hedging with call options. And I think Lucid was always going to struggle because essentially market makers and shorts would not want Lucid to close above $3 because you do see this big wall at that $3 strike price. So this is all the open interest right here. So yeah, ultimately market makers don't want Lucid to close above $3 because if so, then market makers would have had to have bought that on the open market. They don't want to do that, so they'd rather just short it and kind of push it down. So ultimately that's what happened throughout this week. So let me know your thoughts on that as well. One thing that kind of shook the EV market near the tail end of the day was Janet Yellen was ultimately saying to China that you have too much supply. You're like pumping too much EVs and solar into the broader market. So I think that's what caused a downtrend right here during power hour, because it did happen similarly to Tesla. Rivian just was on a crazy tear until it just lost control of everything. So that might have contributed a little bit more the Yellen kind of scenario. But I think no matter what, EVs are going to be a very volatile market even in 2024, unless maybe there's like 3 or 4 rate cuts. But I think based on a lot of analysts, they're hopeful for now too. With right now it closing at $2.85 though, it landed exactly on this R1. So going into next week, because the market is closed tomorrow, you'll just want to watch for it to either stay above or below. After hours, it is recovering slightly just to push within this R1 to this R2. So again, just kind of take note going forward. I'll do a video over the weekend essentially on things to kind of keep in mind for this upcoming week as far as technicals and everything else. But on the actual chart, once again, it was attempting to transition into the higher percentile, but still failing. Lucid has really struggled with resistance points in the past. So hopefully Lucid does put out some substance, because their technicals do indicate that it wants to break out. It just needs a reason. That is it. Just needs to give a damn reason for Lucid to go up, and that's it. A lot of people were very excited about that 1 billion, injection from the affiliate of the PIF, which it does show the whole region's commitment towards Lucid, but I'd rather have good news where it doesn't result in dilution, ideally, because then essentially that's where you can kind of run up without having strings attached to it. So yeah, it's just one of those things that we're just going to be stuck in limbo until some good piece of news does come out, and we've still not really found out exactly when the gravity is going to be unveiled. I think a lot of rumors are that it's going to be this summer, but again, we'll just have to wait and find out. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, make sure you guys take advantage of this promo. So even though Lucid's doing whatever it does, sometimes take advantage of some free shares. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So take advantage of this. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.